Hey guys, tired of feeling stuck in your dating life and striking out in the dating game? You're not alone. Maybe you just need some good coaching. Welcome to Just Ask Her, the no BS podcast for real dating advice straight from a woman's point of view. Dating expert Gracie Pleschourt and her co-host, certified life coach Tracy Pleschourt, are here to give you the play-by-play on how to attract more women you're interested in. So, let's take back control of your dating life. This is Just Ask Her.
Welcome back to Just Ask Her, the podcast that helps you date with confidence, connect with real women, and finally feel in control of your dating life. I'm your host, Gracie, here with my mom, co-host, and certified life coach, Tracy. And we're excited to be back for another episode.
Yes, we are. Episode 48. Immediately after this episode, I'm running out the door to get to a wedding. I love
fall weddings. They're so risky in Minnesota, don't you think, weather-wise?
But the payoff is huge. Like if you get a great day, it's worth it.
I honestly think any outdoor weddings in Minnesota are just risky in general. Yeah. I just don't think there's really a good time of year that you can actually count on.
It poured down rain on our wedding day. Like poured.
Were you guys outside?
Our pictures were outside prior to the wedding, and that was fine. It was July 15th, so it was really hot. We managed to get through the pictures, and by the time the ceremony was over, just trying to get to the cars was a challenge because it was just pouring down rain. Somebody told me...
It's lucky if it rains on your wedding.
No, you're going to be rich. If it rains on your wedding, you're going to be rich.
Oh.
That's like the old wives' tale.
Wow.
Still waiting for that to come true. But
yeah, there you go.
30 years later, we're still waiting.
That's funny.
Okay, so let's jump in. Submission 1 is from Scott, and it says, I am recently divorced as of last week. Wow. Okay. I've been married for 15 years and have a 10-year-old daughter. I make a good living and stay very active. I haven't been on a first date in 20 years. I don't really know where to start now. All of the apps are confusing. Is there a market for a 45-year-old divorced man in this day and age?
This is so weird. I literally just, I don't know who it was. I didn't check the name, but I literally just responded to somebody on my story. The story post said, best advice for a 45-year-old with kids in the dating scene.
Might be Scott.
Didn't he say he's 45? Anyways, my biggest advice that I just gave to the other guy on my story is you just need to get back out there. You just need to put one foot in front of the other and you need to start meeting women. It's one of the hardest things for divorced men or men that have been in a long-term relationship that's recently ended. They're in the dating scene for the first time in a long time. One of the hardest things is breaking your routines because you've gotten so used to this way of life for however many years that you were in that relationship. Breaking the routines and building new ones and finding new momentum for yourself and your life. It can be hard because you've lived this life with this other person. You've built a life with this other person. Having kids is another layer to that. And you guys have probably made friends together. It is having a chance at rebuilding in a new way for yourself, in a way that you really love and appreciate and enjoy. That should be the most important thing that you focus on right now. And with that, looking for ways to meet new women is typically the biggest piece to that. Because a lot of guys come to me and they're like, all my friends were her friends. How am I supposed to meet new people? It does take a second to find the things that you can do for you, especially if you guys were doing everything together up until this point. So I would start there. I would start putting your focus on what it is that you want for yourself right now with dating and meeting new women, of course, at the forefront.
What it is that you're looking for, what it is that you bring to the table. Best advice, go get the Self-Made Man dating journal because it walks you through those steps. And those are super important steps.
The very first piece of the journal is deciding for yourself what it is that you want. And most people skip over that when they are new to the dating scene. They kind of just jump right in and it makes it so much more confusing once you're actually in it.
You don't know what it is you're looking for. It's like jumping into your car without understanding where you're going. Like you got to know what it is that you're looking for. You got to know what it is that you bring to the table. Those are two major factors that are going to make this experience so much more enjoyable and honestly easy.
To your question of, is there a market for 45-year-old divorced men? We know plenty of women that are in that range are single and dating again. So yes, of course, there is a market.
In fact, it's the fastest growing demographic on dating apps is adults over 40.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then there's a research study that found that 37% of US adults between 30 and 49 have used online dating. And among divorced men, engagement with the apps and in real life dating opportunities has risen steadily over the past decade. Women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s are often looking for maturity, stability, and shared life experiences, which are the exact things that, Scott, you're saying that you have, that you're bringing to the table. So is there a market? Yes. And is it normal for you to feel nervous and overwhelmed? Yes. And uncertain? Yes. Because apps probably look like a foreign language to you right now. It's obviously something that you haven't been exposed to. Your brain is doing exactly what human brains do when things feel unfamiliar. It starts to question your worth and asks, is this the right place for me? Is there even a market for me? We've been able to cite the statistics for you, which proves, yes, there's a market for you. Gracie's giving you the best advice as to how to navigate the market and create a demand for what it is that you're looking for and know what it is that you bring to the table.
If you are somebody, this is for Scott and anybody else listening, if you're somebody that is new to the dating scene, you are struggling to get yourself back out there, struggling to know where to start, I take a limited number of one-on-one clients every single month. And so we'll leave the application in the show notes of this podcast in case that's something that you want to explore, because sometimes it just takes a little bit of help getting back out there, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I think divorced men are sometimes my favorite to work with because you already have a lot of the experience. You already know what it is that you're looking for. That makes a huge difference in getting back out there. Usually it's just some of the tactical things like learning how to optimize the apps and learning how to flirt again. So if you're looking for that kind of support, we'll link that in the show notes.
That one-on-one effort it's solely focused on reminding you why it helps you build that self-trust. Confidence isn't about knowing how to navigate those apps inside and out. It's about trusting that you can handle the learning curve. It's trusting that you can handle the rejection that probably will happen during your dating experience, and understanding that you can handle any emotion that comes with stepping into this next phase of your life. Confidence is going to be earned by keeping your promises to yourself, not by somebody else validating your profile or you not getting rejected. And Scott, practically speaking, I would maybe start small, pick one app to start with, and don't put so much emphasis on doing it right. Your goal right now is just to get comfortable and treat dating as research. Every conversation, every swipe, every date is simply information. You don't have to be perfect. This is just providing you evidence of your capacity, showing you what you don't want so you can deduct from that what it is that you do want. This is an experiment that is going to pay dividends for the rest of your life. There is no need to worry about the demand or trying to convince the world that there is a demand for you. You just need to remind yourself that you're already enough, and then practice showing up from that place.
I'm happy for you that you're in a place of being ready to explore new relationships and put yourself out there. Dating can be a really fun and exciting time if you choose to look at it that way. So yeah, keep us updated. It's finally here. The Self-Made Man Dating Journal is officially live and ready for you to grab on Amazon. This was designed specifically for single men who are serious about improving their dating life. It helps you track your dates, reflect on your experiences, and actually learn from them, so you can stop repeating old patterns and start seeing real progress.
What I love most about this journal is how intentional it is. It's not just about writing down what happened. It's about helping you get clear in what you want, confident in how you're showing up, and connected to what's working and what's not. You'll find daily prompts, weekly reflection pages, and the date log. You'll record everything from how you felt before the date, what went well, what felt off, and what you do differently next time. That kind of self-awareness is what sets successful daters apart. This journal will help you slow down, spot patterns, and become more intentional with every interaction.
We only printed a limited batch for this first run, so if this is something you've been needing, grab it now before they're gone. We'll drop the link in the show notes. Let us know what you think. We love hearing your feedback.
We can't wait for you to start using the Self-Made Man Dating Journal.
Submission 2 is written in by Christopher, and it says, I'm from Los Angeles, and I have never had a serious relationship. I'm an amputee below the right knee, who is highly able-bodied and can do anything everyone else can, including grueling workouts. I do not need any assistance at all in the same way that handicapped people do. However, I'm worried about what beautiful women will think when I tell them this and reveal it. How do I reveal it? And what do you think women will think? I'm not going to date anyone who is handicapped.
Okay. So here's the truth, Christopher. Women will think about it however their brains are wired to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And there is not a darn thing you can do about how they're going to react or respond. Some women aren't going to care at all. Some women might need a moment to process. And a few might disqualify themselves from being in a relationship with you. And that's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their capacity to engage with reality.
Mm-hmm.
Because your characteristics, who you are, is your reality. Whether you're talking about your prosthetic or your height, it's your reality. And that's the way that I would treat it in a conversation, not as something that has to be revealed. Treat it as, this is who I am. Yeah.
I don't even think you need to be so, like, take it or leave it. I don't even think you need to be so in your face about it. How you decide to think and feel about it is going to make the biggest difference. If you feel like it's something you need to hide or something that you should be ashamed of, then that's going to come off in the way that you talk to women. If this is something that you are insecure about, like, that's totally normal. And I think there's a very big difference in being vulnerable and sharing how you feel, like how you truly feel about being handicapped.
Or treating it like it's a flaw.
Yeah, I think that this circumstance, it should be treated as just that. It's just another circumstance.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't take away from what it is that you're looking for and what it is that you want in a partner. Because yeah, like my mom said, like, there are going to be women that might disqualify themselves, and then there are going to be women that don't even bat an eye.
Mm-hmm. I'd love to hear you tell your story, a story of resilience and strength and humanity. When you tell it in that way, women are going to feel it.
Yeah.
And your self-confidence is built by trusting yourself to show up as you are and to handle whatever reaction comes your way.
Yeah. Not every woman is going to respond the way you want them to when you talk about your situation, and that's okay. I was just talking to somebody recently, and they were asking me, like, what do you tell your clients when they ask you about politics and dating, like how they should handle politics? Like, that's been something we've talked about on the podcast before. That can feel like a really heavy topic. At the end of the day, if somebody is going to so blatantly be misaligned in how you think or feel about certain things, whether it's politics or the way somebody looks or whatever, you can honestly look at it as a gift that thankfully we found out soon that they are not the right person. Because if somebody's going to disqualify you for something like this before even giving you the chance or getting to know you and seeing what other qualities you really have, then I think that there's probably other qualities that maybe don't make them the best partner. It's good that you get to find that out right away instead of waiting until you're already in a relationship to find some of these things out. It's obviously a really difficult subject when it's something out of your control, and I'm sure you've had to learn how to live this different lifestyle than most people. And I honestly would just talk about it from that place.
It doesn't seem like it has changed his life unless he wasn't doing marathons or CrossFit prior to losing part of his leg. So I guess I wouldn't talk about it as this life-changing or think about it that way. Super active.
And he doesn't need assistance. It doesn't really affect, I'm sure it affects him, but he's saying he lives his life as a lot of people do. The only thing I thought was interesting is his last line where he put in all caps, like he is not going to date someone who's handicapped. I'm really interested in that line.
It's definitely worth examining, not because it makes him right or wrong, but because it reveals.
It tells me he sees handicapped people a certain way, which means.
Or women. He's filtering women based on a story that he's written about identity.
Yeah.
So what if dating wasn't about categories? What if it was only about connection?
Yeah.
And he started to think of dating in that way and not filtering women.
Yeah. And honestly, when I read it, I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And it makes me wonder if he sees himself or his own worth in a different light because of his situation. Because I'm wondering why that's so important to him.
Mm-hmm. It's something worth reflecting on, Christopher. Having that kind of awareness can be super helpful. So yeah, I would just be asking yourself questions around that.
I'm sure you also have valid reasons for why you feel that way. I thought it was interesting when I read it.
So just to wrap this up, my challenge to you, Christopher, is instead of rehearsing how to minimize or defend this part of you, practice saying it with the same tone that you would use to tell someone about your favorite gym workout or about your height. Make it neutral, make it direct, make it unapologetic. That's the energy that's going to create attraction.
Hey there. If you're loving the Just Ask Her podcast, please take a quick second to rate us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It helps more awesome listeners like you find the show. And don't forget to spread the love by sharing this episode with all of your friends. All right, back to Just Ask Her.
Submission 3 was submitted by Anonymous. And he says, I often hear you discussing how to interact with and approach girls. My issue is not with initiating conversation or making a good impression, but rather with competing for their attention. The girls I'm interested in have a lot of other options and are often approached by other guys, whether at my gym or at work. How can I stand out and emerge as the winner in these situations? For instance, at the gym, my friend and I find ourselves interested in the same girl. This has happened multiple times at different gyms and was also the case at my previous job. This is probably pretty common. A lot of men probably wrestle with competing for women's attention. So yeah. I appreciate the honesty.
I just feel like when you know your value, like you just don't see it. I don't think it's in a cocky way either. I just don't think you look at it as a competition. Like I just don't think you walk into places and are like, how can I get that girl over my friend getting her?
Yeah.
This sounds more like a confidence issue. If you were fully confident in what it is that you bring to the table, you would walk around knowing that your girl is going to notice that about you. It's not even really going to be a question about who she's going to pick because
she doesn't see herself as a trophy waiting for a winner. She's not thinking about picking the best option in the room. She's trying to tune into how she feels around this man, gauging his energy, presence, and emotional IQ.
He says this has happened multiple times at different gyms and was also the case at my previous job. It's like,
well, what's the common denominator?
Maybe there are things that you're noticing about your friends that is making you feel insecure about what it is that you bring to the table. And if that's the case, I don't think that you need to change. But if you feel like your friends are getting noticed over you and you want to be in the same realm as them, like you want to have the same things as them, not necessarily like girls, I don't mean that, but you want a closer lifestyle to theirs because you feel like they're mismatched, then I would say go do the things that you feel like you're missing. But I really don't even think you have to do that much.
He definitely has a scarcity mindset. He said, she has lots of options.
Everybody has a million options.
That's
just the way this works. Every single person has an infinite amount of options. So you can either sit here and feel bad about it and constantly feel like you're not the option, or you can just decide, I know I'm the option. Yeah. Any girl that is going to miss out on that or not pay attention to that, that's on them. When you're feeling more confident, you're more likely to start more conversations and have better luck landing these girls. You can start making more eye contact. You can start smiling more. There's so many little things that you can do that don't cost you anything that would actually make a huge difference. If you feel like you're not getting to them fast enough or your friends are getting noticed first, then what are they doing that you're not? Like in terms of those things, what's within your control that they're doing that you're not? Maybe you need to be willing to start more conversations and you will notice a difference.
Right. I think women are less impressed by who pursues them the hardest, probably more impressed or most impressed by men who are congruent, doing all of those kind of micro expressions from a very authentic, genuine, transparent place.
It's not helpful to sit and be like, well, she gets approached by so many other guys. Maybe you should just put yourself back in the arena. I just feel like you're the one that's hindering your results here.
Studies on social dynamics show that people are drawn to those who reduce uncertainty and create ease. Think about that in your own life. The people that you want to be around make it easy to be around.
Yeah.
So that's how you're going to differentiate yourself, by being the man who simplifies and doesn't complicate her experience. So the real win isn't beating out the other men. It's showing up so aligned with yourself that she feels more relaxed, more curious, more seen, more heard when she's with you. That's how you become unforgettable.
I just think if you start looking at yourself as the option, like, you're going to see different results. I just think that subconsciously you've been eliminating yourself or not even giving yourself the chance because you're deciding that she has so many options and that you're not one.
Yeah. Ask yourself, if I stopped treating women like a scarce resource or something that I had to compete for, how would I behave differently? And then try that on. Notice if there's a shift from scarcity to abundance. I bet there will be. And I do think that's going to do so much more for you than any strategy to outplay the other guys.
Yeah, I 100% agree. All right, well, that's all we've got for you this week. We put out new episodes every single Wednesday, so you can be sure to find us here next week. And in the meantime, make sure that you're following me on Instagram and TikTok at Dating with Gracie. And remember, no matter where you are or what situation you're in, just ask her.